Every 2019 Honda CR-V is on sale during the model year-end clearance sale. Well-qualified buyers can save thousands today with 1.9% APR financing on the 2019 Honda CR-V. That's right, save thousands today with 1.9% APR financing on the Honda CR-V. Don't miss the model year-end clearance sale going on now at your local Honda dealer. See dealer for financing details. Offer ends 9/30/19.
Honda, I like it. Oh yeah, I like it.
To another feature podcast here on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. This is the Metal Hammer of Doom. I am your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, and joining me tonight, my co-host, the author of the original Hammer of Doom news report, and a freedom fighter for Mexican illegal immigrants in his own right. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of education, Mr. Robert Cooper. How do you do, sir?
I didn't think you were asleep, but you had me going for just like a millisecond. I was like, oh no, not again. Yeah. So now I have moved from smuggling the illegal immigrants over the border to helping them find the correct soil for them to plant trees and flowers and get the right flowers. And yeah, so I work in lawn and garden now. By the way, Lowe's has a huge lawn and garden sale until April 20th. Just saying, guys.
How you doing tonight?
I'm not really that bad. Yeah, I went to work at 11, got off, went to class, got out of there, then listened to this album, and I was like, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Tonight
we're going to be reviewing the latest from opera metal extraordinaire Nightwish, and it we'll listen to each track and we'll give you our summation at the end. But I think both of us, without even playing a single track, we both came away from this album going, meh. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not the old Nightwish. It's not the Nightwish that I fell in love with years and years and years ago. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, like the problem is like there's a lot of kind of build up on this album, and there's a lot of kind of like, you know, softer or more ambient pieces that they're trying to be more symphonic and progressive in nature, which is fine. I mean, there are plenty of bands that do that. I just don't feel like it really pays off in a lot of respects. And that closing track, I've listened to a lot of 20-minute songs in my days. Damn. It was like the first part of it was kind of just there, and the end was kind of there. Compared it to running a marathon with like a leprechaun flailing me in the balls, like it's kind of a pain at first, but then I get used to it, so I keep running, and then I think it's over, and then I get hit a few more times.
So, About.com gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Blabbermouth gave it almost every star that it could give. Danger Dog Music Reviews gave it 4.5 stars out of 5. Metal Storm looks like 9 out of 10. Metal Hammer gave it a positive review, and The Guardian gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Mostly positive reviews from critics. I'll tell you this much. My feeling is, like I said, it's not a bad album by any stretch of the imagination. It's I will tell you that the singer and the band seem to fit better together than Tarja did with the band. Tarja, to me, overpowered the band, and I think they agreed. This is why she split from Nightwish and did her own solo stuff. This sounds more like a band fronted by a girl, not being overpowered by them. On the other hand, Tarja is really what made Nightwish stand out, and the singer that they have here doesn't really make the band or the album stand out in any way. It's good. It's a good listen, but I can't. I didn't hear anything on this that I hadn't heard before.
I thought she had a pretty good voice. I think that some of the songs, they were holding her back, because I think she could probably belt it out if she wanted to, but I think they were holding her back, which sucks, because I've heard she's a pretty good singer, and I really liked what I heard here. I like her a lot more than Ned Olsen, the last singer. The one on our Nightwish retrospective that I was just like, I was like, okay, let's play a song from both albums. It wasn't that great. All right, we're done. That is how, it was the last 15 minutes was those two albums unplugged, because me and Sean were like, wow, that last album with Tarja was great. Then we got to her, and we were like, this doesn't feel right. Like, they tried too much to be poppy, I feel like, and this, they're getting, I think they're trying to get back to what they were doing, and they're making it. They're getting there. There's some real nice standout songs, and there's some great standalones. I just think maybe they're trying a little too hard to still be big concept album. They fucking released a score for their last album, so yeah, I think maybe they're starting to get a little bloated.
So this album, Endless Form is Most Beautiful, came out March 31st here in the United States, and here is the first track. This is Shudder Before the Beautiful.
The deepest solace lies in understanding. This ancient unseen stream, a shudder before the beautiful.
And it just kind of goes on like that. Good first track. Kicks the door open. Good example of what you're going to get for the rest of the album, I think, for the most part. But like I said, it's I can't. It doesn't carry that power that old Nightwish carried, you know.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't, like I said, I don't think I really blame the singer as much. I think she's actually a really big improvement. Yeah, those last two albums. Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Oh, see, I can say that because it's not blasphemy because I'm not Mormon. Don't you love that logic? Don't you love that logic? It's not blasphemy if you don't believe in it. It's like the Easter Bunny. Oh no, I just wow. Oh, great. Oh well, that's all fine. But yeah, I thought the song was solid. It was a pretty solid opener. You heard good old Richard Dawkins there, you know, scientist guy, atheist guy who should have been in the band Atheist, which we should totally review someday. Just saying.
Okay. Yeah, I was listening to this album again today, and I just I was struggling to come up with something new to say, you know, other than what I've already shared. There's a lot to the album. You know, if you read the Wikipedia page on it, the album was primarily inspired by work of naturalist Charles Darwin. According to Nightwish's main songwriter, the album found its main inspiration from a famous quote from Darwin's 1859, The Origin of the Species, and kind of goes on and on with this. There's a huge section on the songwriting here, but I think you know, just my first impression was I probably would enjoy this out, you know, hearing them play some of the stuff live, like hearing it like on my commute to work. Like it's like just kind of sounds like, you know, it just it's kind of there. All right, so let's go to track 2 here.
Yeah, I'd hope to see them live, by the way. Them touring
with
Sabaton. As I'm hoping to see them live. They're touring with Sabaton, and they'll be here, so I'm thinking the tickets are fucking expensive, so I'm kind of finding a hard time getting kind of like a wingman to go with me.
You can't put a price on rock and roll, Robert Cooper. Can't put a price on metal.
I know, yeah. I mean, it's the thing that's actually ridiculous. It's about $33, but then like the fucking service fees. Well, yeah, there's 12. Just watch your butthole.
All right, this is Weak Fantasy, track 2. Weak Fantasy, Robert Cooper.
Ready for the easy joke? That's the album.
All right,
That was a chip shot. That was so easy. Yeah, I thought it was another really solid song. Actually, I think I listened to this album yeah, half of it during my lunch during work, and like they have a few songs in class, and then a few songs afterwards. Yeah, I thought it's a pretty solid song. I think it really, I think it's one of the better ones of the album, especially with it having that heavier tone to it. I think they really work with the more rock-based songs here instead of the ones that we'll get later in the album that kind of verge more on like a progressive sound or ambient. Yeah, like I said, they try too hard. At least we didn't review that Scrooge McDuck album.
Yeah, well, after listening to it, I realized that would have been a terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's done by the same guy from Nightwish, and I was like, okay, because I thought I was like, all right, Scrooge McDuck, whatever, and then I started reading the reviews, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Even though we probably could have riffed on it pretty hard.
So I told my wife asked me, she's like, are you podcasting tonight? She always asks me that before she goes off to bed. She's like, what's your plan tonight? Are you podcasting? And I was like, yeah, it's Thursday. It's Metal Hammer of Doom tonight. We'll go live at 10:30. She's like, what are you reviewing? I'm like, it's the new Nightwish. She's like, is that the band with the hair and, and the high-pitched voices? And I'm like, I think you're thinking of Dragon Force. And no. This is the one with the female singer. And she's like, oh, is that Scarborough Fair band? And she was talking about another band that does a cover of Scarborough Fair. I'm like, no, they sound nothing alike. And I played for her part of the album. She was like, I don't even understand how you can think they sound different. Like, it's the exact same crap, and it's all terrible. I'm like, all right, Melissa, go to bed.
I'm so, what is she? Like the female version of Statler and Waldorf, like mashed together when it comes to metal? I swear,
Listen,
that makes me
her
sad.
parting words to me before I play this next track were, oh, by the way, did I tell you Sister Hazel's playing in Orlando?
Ugh. Oh God, that's bad. Next time she asks, you say it's the band with the guys with the weird mustaches and the top hats. Because really, like, it's a lot of weird mustaches and top hats.
That's the band where everyone dresses like Mr. Peanut.
One of my favorite combinations in music history was Akrikok, who played who were pretty much like a symphonic, like, black death metal band, and they dressed in fucking like wool suits every night. It's like, I like these guys. They're like, yeah, I mean, hey, like, yeah, we play black metal, but we have fucking style, man.
All right, this is the first single from the album. This is Elon. through the wiki on this. According to Holopanen, the starting point to write this song was a citation by Walt Whitman. Oh, well, I live to be the ruler of life, not a slave to meet life its powerful conqueror, and nothing exterior to me will ever take command of me. He commented, the underlying theme of the song is nothing less than the meaning of life, which can be something different for all of us. It is important to surrender yourself to the occasional free fall and not to fear the path less traveled by. And so the cover of the single, who buys singles these days, really? But the cover of the single is looks like a girl who's like cliff jumping, and she's like in full back arch as she takes flight. And this came out February 13th, 2015, and the B-side to it was Sagan. So what did you think of Elon?
I think Elon really... holy fuck, there's an echo. That always throws me off. So, anyways, I thought Elon was really saved by that catchy kind of synthesizer thing they had going on. Was it the keyboard? I don't know. But otherwise, it was kind of safe. I think safe is a nice term for it. Like, yeah, it had that like melodic kind of folky metal vibe going on. But beyond that, it was really a catchy chorus with a catchy hook to it that didn't really as much deliver on the meat. But otherwise, I thought it was a totally okay song that I'd listen to a few more times, mainly because that's a really catchy synthesizer thing they had going on. Though when we get to Walden, hell, I'll just go ahead and talk about Walden. I had a teacher in high school that absolutely despised that book, and it gave me no amount of, I had so much joy trolling her with this fact. Like, anytime I just want to mess with her, I'd be like, so you'd say it's about as good as Walden, right? Because she had to read Walden like 3 times in a high school class and had to critique it over and over. She's like, fucking hate that book.
I find it interesting that you have an English teacher in your school that hated Walden, but so I don't know if you heard it, but my son is at a period right now where he's not napping like he used to. I swear to God, since I've changed schedules and have started to be home more with him since January, his sleeping schedule has changed like 4 times. But like he 8 o'clock tonight, he was running around the house. He was playing Chase Me. And he did not want to go to bed, and I put him down, and oh, did he howl! Well, he's been asleep for the last 2 hours, and if he hears voices out in the living room, he'll call out. He'll want you to come get him. It's not as bad right now because it's still the middle of the night and he's trying to sleep, but he's definitely like, hey, you kids, turn down that racket. Keep quiet. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I didn't hear that, but kids. I think I was talking to somebody the other day. I'm like, I'd love to have kids, but just like everything in my life, I'm going to procrastinate on that.
Yeah, don't have kids until you're well established into your career and you can, and you've got money tucked away and you're well into, making a decent salary, because I can tell you having kids, they are expensive, and you want to make sure that you can you're not you want to be at a point in your life where you're settled into your career. You're not trying to make strides in your career because it's not easy. With that said, here's track 4. Yours is an empty. Boy, that really worked out well. Yours, Robert Cooper, is an empty hope. that's a fun song.
Yeah, it had a nice, really nice heavy tone to it. It was plenty catchy. I almost feel like it's a really nice recovery after kind of the catchy yet kind of just maybe soft, like, single that they've let out. But yeah, it was a nice, heavy, catchy, real fun song. Again, like I think you're right when you were talking about this. Like, I think this album would be really cool to hear live, like as an experience.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause it has that sort of vibe to it, you know. Like, it would be great to listen to live because, I mean, it's still about music, but it's also about atmosphere. And, you know, a lot of it, really, a concept album is built around. I just feel like some of these songs kind of fall flat when you have the rest of the world, like, at your hands. You know, like, it doesn't quite draw you in as much as some other albums that kind of attempt this kind of scale of grandeur.
That's the problem. Like, there are certain albums that can break you out of whatever else it is you're doing while you're listening to the album and make you pay attention to it. This is not one of those albums. However, I think if I heard it live, it would translate better. That's kind of part of the problem with this album for me is I feel like you know, like while none of it's bad, it definitely it's not overproduced, but it's almost too neat. It's too tight. It's too it doesn't jump out of the speakers and, you know, make you pay attention to it. It's just there. And I feel like if I heard it live, I would be more excited by what I was listening to.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I think that's really how this album kind of works. But again, you know, I'm sure we'll get to more of our critiques as we keep going along.
Okay. This next one is Our Decade in the Sun. This is track 5.
I climbed off your back not so long ago. To a blooming meadow, to a path you'd made for the light to see. Mother, I am always close to you.
So, did you see the big announcement that I guess it's Friday, all the Star Wars movies are going to be available through iTunes for a digital download?
Yeah. I think it showed up on like my IGN deals or something like that. I was like, oh, okay, and didn't really put any more thought into it.
You know, just somebody was pointing this out today. You know, if you're a Star Wars fan and you're as old as I am, you bought the shit when it was originally out on VHS. Then you saw the special editions in the theater. Then you bought the special editions when they came out on VHS. Then you bought them again when they came out on DVD. And you bought them again when they released all 6 onto Blu-ray. How many fucking times am I supposed to rebuy the same 3 to 6 movies?
As many times as you will. So I was dropping some knowledge on a guy at work because he's kind of a nerd. He really wants me to watch all of Game of Thrones so we can nerd out over it. So I was like, yeah, you know, man, the only versions of the original trilogy that are actually the 1970s theatrical version are the Laserdisc version. He's like, fucking hate Laserdisc. I'm like, I don't think anybody likes Laserdisc. It's like a CD with all of the problems of a cassette.
Yeah, I mean, look, the technology just wasn't there for Laserdiscs, you know, unless you had tons of money.
They kind of suck. Yeah, they sucked. But yeah, because I told him, I'm like, yeah, I actually found the original trilogy with the it has the remasters on one disc and the originals, quote unquote, on the other. That was really cool. That was like $1.50. Probably that's $1.50.
I'm such a hypocrite though, because I know that this Christmas, my mother-in-law will get me a gift certificate to iTunes like she did last year, and I will totally waste it on all 6 movies. Because from what I understand, there's deleted scenes on these, 40 deleted scenes total, and I'll buy them just for the deleted scenes.
Yeah, I've never bought anything on iTunes.
Yeah, we've had this discussion. You refuse to embrace the digital age.
Well, it's not. Well, not even a digital age thing. I think iTunes, honestly, unlike something like Amazon, I think iTunes, honestly, is unless you have a whole ton of Apple things, which I don't, then you're kind of limiting yourself to just Apple things.
Well, it's definitely choosing a religion, that's for sure. And that's how I propose it to people, including my wife. I'm like, you know, there was a point where we had movies that we bought on Verizon. We had Amazon Prime, iTunes, and I was like, okay, we have to pick a religion in this house and stick with it because we can't have movies all over the fucking place.
Yeah, that's a mess. I'm trying to think. We have Amazon Prime because my mom accidentally, she forgot to do, if you don't unsubscribe to it, they're going to, make you keep paying for it after that 6-month period or something. So that's how we ended up with that. But that's the only thing, because everything else was I borrow my friend's Netflix or Crunchyroll, which is an anime streaming site, or WWE Network or New Japan World. I have all these other streaming stuff. But yeah, we tend to keep it on one thing. My mom's bought some music from iTunes, but usually if I'm going to download it, it'll be from Amazon.
I was renting
there's some
movies
stuff you can't
on
find
Amazon
physically.
Prime until I realized the same movies that you can rent on Amazon Prime are available on Apple TV. Yeah, I rent it's so funny because I have a subscription to the WWE Network, which if you wait a few months, whatever Blu-rays they're putting out will end up on the network under the Beyond the Ring show. But I have no patience. So I just rent them. I'll pay the $5 and rent it on Apple TV. So I've watched the Ultimate Warrior and the Savage documentary. And Paul Heyman one. I immediately rented all of these. There's another one that's coming out soon. As soon as I see the new Ultimate Warrior one, as soon as that goes up, I'll be renting it. All right, let's take a time out to listen to more music. This is the aforementioned My Walden. Okay. That's an interesting song.
Yeah, it was very, I think it was trying to go for a sort of anthem-y thing with, when we got to the part, towards the chorus, where her voice starts getting higher every other note when talking about Walden or some shit, I don't know. But yeah, I think it was a good attempt at a nice anthem. If somebody really dug this song, I wouldn't be surprised. I thought it was solid. It wasn't, amazing, but I liked it. It, had me kind of bopping my head back and forth. It's catchy. It's fun. That's what it's trying to be, and it does a good job of doing that.
So, I'm thinking a lot about WrestleMania 32 because I'm going to be there in Dallas. And I feel like they have to do the Rock and Rousey connection versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. But never mind all that, because the match that I really want to see, and I think it'll make everyone happy and it'll satisfy the people involved in the match, is Hogan versus Scott Steiner.
Oh, those build-up promos. Hulk Hogan, you're a saggy old ass. I'm going to put you in the Steiner recliner and fuck you up. You're a fat ass. I can't wait for all these build-up promos. And then Hogan be like, what you going to do, brother? When Hulk Hogan runs wild out here, he's like, shut up, I'm hungry. Botchamania has made me the biggest Scott Steiner.
Apparently, Scott Steiner, if you've heard the story, but Scott Steiner,
threatened to kill.
Confronted Hogan's wife in an airport, and Hogan had him banned from the Hall of Fame. And to me, that feels like the beginning of an angle.
It does, and it's really, really funny. Like I said, Botchamania has made me the biggest Scott Steiner fan because that man is absolutely insane. Plus, him doing math is the greatest thing of all time.
I need Scott Steiner to wrestle Hulk Hogan and have the finish of the match like Jed was talking about like Scott Steiner versus Brock Lesnar, and the gimmick would be you tell each one of them that they're the one going over, and let hilarity ensue. In this one, I would tell Hulk Hogan he's going over, and I would but then I would tell Steiner, I'm like, listen, we told Hogan he's going over. You don't let it happen. just anytime he goes for that leg drop, to grab him and throw him out of the ring.
That would be the best thing ever. God, like especially if they let him shoot. Like, you know what? I want to see a tag team of the Iron Sheik and Scott Steiner, where the Iron Sheik doesn't even he just needs to dress normally because he's really old. Oh, we don't need to see him anymore.
No,
but yeah, just those two cutting promos on everybody.
Just come out there and cut promos.
Yeah, like Iron Sheik and Scott Steiner can cut promos because Sheik is really good at playing crazy and Scott Steiner is legitimately crazy. So sign me up, especially if he gets to shoot, because we've seen what happens when Scott Steiner shoots on people. He's pretty very CDP.
I want Scott Steiner to shoot on Hogan verbally and physically.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Yeah. He'd probably fuck Hogan's back up for good.
I want to see more potatoes in that match than an Idaho potato farm. Okay? I want to see them have to fucking stretcher Hogan out of the match.
They legitimately have to. The referee throws up the X, and then Steiner just keeps running his mouth because he hits too many belly-to-belly suplexes on Hogan.
Oh my God! Hogan landed on his head.
Oh God, that would be the worst. I think that's absolutely hilarious because we'd heard about allegedly Scott Steiner was banned from the Hall of Fame, and I'm like, damn, what did he do? And he was threatening to kill Hulk Hogan. It's kind of a bad thing. But I mean, hey, at least he wasn't too cool who just got totally snubbed.
All right, this is track 7, the title track. This is Endless Form's Most Beautiful. Seems like the theme to a television show.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I thought the song was decent. during the verses, I was annoyed at the overly staccato singing. How she had like the, you know, those, like it was very sharp, like, you know, it was very pointed with the way she was singing. Kind of like, it just felt kind of odd to me. I don't know. I didn't like that very much, but I thought the song was okay. I don't think there's really any bad songs until we get like to the back two songs, where it's more bloated than Chris Farley's corpse.
All right. Well, with that kind of introduction, let's go full throttle here. All right, this is number 8. This is Dina Rook. Yeah, that's another kind of, all right. Well, that was definitely a song.
Yeah, I thought it was very similar to the, like, you know, the title track. Not title track, I'm sorry, the single track. The Eula, maybe? I can't remember. So it was... I thought it was pretty solid. It wasn't amazing or anything, but it was okay.
It was just okay.
It was a thing.
Speaking of was just okay and it was kind of a thing, do you know what one of the main events for a fight night in July is for UFC? Frank Mir versus Todd Duffy.
Todd Duffy?
Yeah.
Huh? He's back?
He's been back. He's been back for a little while now. I think he's only had one fight in the UFC, which he won. And then he requested a fight with Frank Mir. And apparently Frank Mir has so fallen from grace that they'll still use him in like main events because he's Frank Mir and he's got a name. But he's so like out of the running, you know, like as a top fighter in the heavyweight division, you know, Todd Duffy is who he gets matched up with. This is after he just went to Brazil and put a beating on Bigfoot Silva. Like he was on like a 3-fight skid. He lost to Alistair Overeem. He lost to Josh Barnett. Somebody else he lost to as well. And then he finally picked up a win against Bigfoot. And now he's fighting Todd Duffy.
I feel like Frank Mir is just one giant, like, pile of, like, inconsistency. Like, you remember, like really, like, he's always seemed to, like, he'll do really good for, like, a few fights, and then he'll completely and totally fucking tank. Like, you remember that time when he got, like, really buff?
Yeah, he put on, like, tons of muscle, I think, for the Shane Carwin fight. And then Shane Carwin beat the shit out of him. Like, he didn't even have enough time to get gassed. Because Shane Carwin would have beaten on him. We appear to have lost Robert momentarily. Hang on.
Yeah, I pressed the button. Fuck. Yeah, I was trying to change where the phone was in my hand, and I accidentally pressed the end call button. Yeah, I was talking about how when Frank Mir got buff and beat the shit out of Shane Carwin with a bunch of uppercuts in the corner, and then jobbed his next few fights. It's funny. He'll do okay for a while because he's a pretty talented jiu-jitsu guy and he can strike okay. So he kind of manages to get away with things. When he beat Brock Lesnar.
Was Dana White was going to match him up with Brock Lesnar for their rubber match in Madison Square Garden if mixed martial arts was made legal in New York, in the state of New York this year.
Yeah, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but we'll see. I mean, hey, I don't think Frank Mir can survive Suplex City. That's the thing.
No, but just as an aside, at some point New York has to legalize mixed martial arts. When they realize that all these other places, when the UFC comes to town, they're huge revenue builders. When they have a major fight, these little fight nights are no big deal, but their major events when they do a pay-per-view with a really huge card, not like this one with the flyweight title that just lost Rampage. They're huge moneymakers for this. People come from all over the world to come see these UFC events, so that's all tourism money. That's free money right there, and it's they're just throwing away money good after bad in a state that really. New York still got resources, but they can't really afford to be throwing away tourism dollars.
Yeah, it really makes me laugh, that they still are just so damn far behind that they just refuse to legalize it. I mean, really, they legalized boxing.
Yeah, but you've heard Dana talk about political reasons why they're doing it. All right, this is track 9. We've entered inconsistent bill. This is Alpenglow. don't have quite the energy to quickly try to upload stuff, but have you heard of the Lounge Kittens?
No.
Okay, so get this. This is from Blabbermouth.net.
Wait. Yes, I've heard of them. Sorry, it took me a hot second.
Slipknot, Steel Panther, Limp Bizkit covers featured on the Lounge Kittens debut EP. Hot off the band's European tour with Steel Panther, who invited them on stage every night to perform Girl from Oklahoma, Southampton, UK-based harmony vocal trio The Lounge Kittens has released its latest video, a 7-song medley of the works of Jamaican dancehall rap superstar Sean Paul. Moving forward, the EP is called Just the Tip, and they covered Party Hard by Andrew WK, Duality by Slipknot, a Sean Paul medley, Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith, and Glory Hole by Steel Panther.
Yeah, I forget where I kind of happened upon them, I think. Or maybe, no, it was Blabbermouth. I thought they were absolutely hilarious because I like gimmicky bullshit.
Yeah, I'll be listening to this as soon as we're done with this podcast. I got caught up trying to figure out what our next 2 reviews are going to be, which I will reveal at the end of this show. But while I was doing that, I was clicking something, and I'm like, who? Slipknot, Steel Panther? What's going on here? And now I know, and knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, so you're like Lounge Kittens. I'm like, wait, no, scratch that. Yeah, I've heard of them. They said I like them. I thought they had a pretty funny shtick going on.
It sounds it. It absolutely sounds it.
This song here, did the main beat of it, the da 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 da, I know that. It's from a classic rock song, and I just can't fucking place it, and it's bothering me.
It's from Live and Let Die.
Yeah, there we go. Did that just not remind you of that song, insanely?
Yeah, I definitely heard that.
That's all I could hear. And I was like, oh. I mean, it's a fun song. I liked it. But still, that's all I could hear. I was like, wait a minute. My old man senses tingling. The kids are on my lawn, and they're having music that sounds like other music. Next thing you know, John Fogerty's going to plagiarize himself again.
So it's really bothering me that Limp Bizkit won't release a release date for Stampede of the Disco Elephants.
I just got, wow. Hey, did you get that stands for STD?
What?
Stampede of the Disco Elephants? It's spelling STD. We just threw in the E at the end. Right there, so I see what you're doing.
Okay. I need to know when they're going to release this album. It's bothering me.
Yeah, it's bothering me too, so I can know when to dread
it. Track 10. This is Eyes of Sharbat Gula. All right, let's just move on to track 11. And we're only going to hear a little bit. Go ahead.
That song right there, I was like, damn, that fucking 24-minute song star already? No. It just felt like a bootleg version of the Lord of the Rings soundtrack or something.
It's funny, that's what my wife said earlier without even hearing it. This is a 22-minute song. I'm not even going to play half of it. I'm not even going to play a quarter of it. I'm going to play a few minutes, get a little taste. If you want to hear the whole thing, it's got some pretty good reviews as a whole. Go ahead and listen to it. We're only going to listen to a few minutes. This is the greatest show on earth. And that wraps up Endless Forms Most Beautiful. So, wrap us up here, Coop. What do you think of it overall, listening to the whole thing tonight?
I kind of felt like this album was pretty good, at least decent at the start of it. There's some standout songs, there's some fun moments. It's a nice listen, I would say. It's just that last 30 minutes really was, I kind of felt like it was a chore in some parts. Like the song before, that really long one, kind of just meandered for me. This last song, the beginning of it, just drug on, and then the last 5 minutes of it was just like, okay. I mean, there's a solid 10 minutes of it that I'd be like, since it's a 10-minute song, I'd be like, hey, fucking cool, I like it, I thought it was a pretty good song for that 10 minutes. It's just the other, 14, which became problematic. But overall, I think I'd give it I'd give it probably an 8 out of 10, because it still does a pretty solid job of what it's trying to do. I just feel like it kind of stumbled at the end, and there's a few moments where I feel like they don't live up to the potential that they really had going in, but it's still an improvement over the last 2 albums. I'm hoping maybe this is a sign of good things to come, and hey, I can't wait to hopefully see them on tour.
Yeah, I think you'll have a fun time. All right, so let's do some housekeeping. Bit of a change in the schedule. The next time, we should have had a show on the 23rd and then the 7th. We're not. I've had a slight change in my schedule at work temporarily. So between that and the Avengers and some changing to the schedule that we're making to accommodate Long Road to Ruin and Avengers Week, we will not be doing another show until May 14th. That's our next show. Yeah. Yep. Got a couple of weeks off there, Coop. We're taking a couple of weeks off. We'll come back May 14th with the new Corpus Kalani, Noita, I think it's called. And then we'll be back again on May 28th for the new Faith No More, Sol Invictus.
Oh boy, the new Faith No More, the album that I'm kind of looking forward to because I think it'll be great, but not looking forward to it because my friends that really love Faith No More are not going to shut the fuck up about it.
Well, I feel like part of the reason why I wanted to review was so that you would have an opportunity to complain about your friends.
Oh, you know me well.
Yeah. So besides that, some more housekeeping here. Next Thursday, we'll be concluding our look at the Crow, the third and the fourth sequel to the original. Benjamin Clone will be back, and then we're taking 2 weeks off, and we'll be back on the 7th to do the Iron Man trilogy. The day before that, Robert Winfrey and I will be reviewing Age of Ultron, and I think that Monday, the 4th, I might spend some time not watching wrestling and actually watching, going on Jesse's show, the source material to discuss Demon in a Bottle, the Iron Man series where he deals with his alcoholism. So all that week, May 4th through May 7th, is Avengers Week. We'll be looking at the Iron Man trilogy. We'll be reviewing Age of Ultron, and we'll all be on source material to discuss Demon in a Bottle, in theory. Then Robert and I will be back on Thursday to do Corpus Kalani. That's the 14th. And then May 20th, Robert Winfrey and I will be reviewing Fury Road. And then the day after that, that'll be Mad Max week. We'll actually be looking at the Mad Max trilogy on the Long Road to Ruin. So that's what we got coming up for the month of May. April got kind of screwed up between my work schedule and just some other stuff. But that's what I got going on. And somewhere in there, I may or may not be on the Casual Heroes. We'll see. Go ahead. What do you got going on, Robert?
I assume it'll all depend on who's trying to target you that week.
Well, we didn't have one because no one bothered to participate. It's like we sent the word out, and it was and everyone's like, "Nah, I'd rather sleep." So no Casual Heroes this week.
Yeah, that happened when I was supposed to be on a Sean Garmer Wrestling to the Max podcast. They're fucking podcasts 4 hours. They would do news and then Raw and TNA and Lucha Underground and the New Japan show. And I'm like, hey man, I'll come on to New Japan. He's like, oh great. So at midnight he's like, yeah, we're gonna do Raw and talk the news. 1:30. He's like, hey, you sort of ready to come on for New Japan? I'm like, dude, I'm fucking wiped. I worked and went to school today. And I was like, it was a great show. That's all. But yeah. That's a pretty cool podcast. I'll start out with that plug. It's the Wrestling to the Max page on Spreaker.com. I'm sure I'll be back at the beginning of May for the New Japan Wrestling Dantoku, which means Wrestling Sunday. So yeah, that's going to be awesome because last New Japan show, that was fucking great. AJ Styles and Kota Ibushi tore it up. Oh, so many Hurricane Ranas. It's so Oh, so good. And we had, I'll go ahead and spoil the finish, it was a Phoenix Splash that got caught and thrown and put into a Styles Clash. That's cool. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, because we were watching, I'm like, holy shit, he just did that. Because, do the Phoenix Splash when he went for the, when he went to rotate for the splash, Styles caught him like powerbomb style and then put him in, and then hit him with the Styles Clash. It was a pretty beautiful match. Plus, Tomoaki Hanma won, and he hit 4 Kokeshis, which he does. You remember how Santino used to do that headbutt?
Mhm.
Yeah, like that. This wrestler, like that's his thing. Like anytime someone's on the ground, he'll like kind of pound his head, and he'll go for the headbutt, and like he misses it almost every time. But you are cheering for him to hit it, and he managed to hit 4 in one. He hit all 4 in one match, and everybody's like, "Holy shit!" He's like that lovable loser character, but like he's probably my favorite wrestler right now. I'm not even joking. He's so awesome. But anyway, there's that, and also the Cooperative Multiplayer Podcast, which I might be on this week. Actually, no, I probably won't because I'll be closing, so I'm not going to get home till 1 a.m. So it'll probably just be Sean Garmer and Mark Morrison again. Probably Saturday night at midnight on the Co-op multi-page on Spreaker.com talking video games. Because, yeah, I've missed so many weeks because on Sundays I'm like, yeah, I got homework. Saturdays I'm like, dude, I just got off. So, yeah, because last week they started at like 1. I'm like, I got home at 1 and I fell asleep at 2 because I'm old. Well, plus there wasn't any good. All the anime on Cartoon Network. I'm like, I'll watch it later. So, yeah, and then there's the Sentai Rider podcast. We'll be back eventually, I promise. I'm still watching. I'm still catching up on stuff. Like I said, I've got so much shit going on right now. Recording and editing a podcast is a pain in the dick. But find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Sentai Rider Podcast. That is SENTAIRDER Podcast. We talk tokusatsu. Hell yeah. I'm sure when we record, we got the Power Rangers Dino Charge. That's already had its mid-season finale, which I never understood the mid-season finale thing. Well, I mean, I do, because it splits up the episodes where you can get more ratings over a greater time. But Nickelodeon managed to screw all this Power Ranger series they show, because after 8 episodes, they go on hiatus for like 16 weeks, and that kills the momentum for a show, I gotta say. I mean, like, they were showing Raw, and then, like, maybe after a few months of Raw, being like, all right, we'll show repeats for a while. And then bring you the new stuff later. It's really stupid business practice. But hey, I don't make that much money. I only make $9.45 an hour, so I don't know anything. But anyways, that should be it for me. That was the return of the 5-minute plug.
Also something I'm trying to nail down. I know June, Orange is the New Black Season 3 comes out, and Sean and I, I'm sure, will do another 4-part review. We usually do 3 episodes per podcast. I'd like to do the same thing for Daredevil. So I'll be putting out the word for someone who wants to review that with me, and trying to figure out where in the schedule we can plug it in. But I would definitely like to do a review of Daredevil. So when that debuts on Netflix. But other than that, thank you for listening to the show tonight. Sorry if it seemed a little lacking in energy. Both Robert Cooper and I have been burning the candle at both ends. So, we do try to bring you a quality podcast. Sometimes the album lends itself to discussion, and sometimes, it's just there, and we we have to bring in the tangential stuff. So it is what it is. All right. So for Robert Cooper, this is the mandated reporter, Mr. Mark Radulich, and frankly, I'm mortified. Be well, be safe, and behave.
Every 2019 Honda Accord is on sale during the model year-end clearance sale. Well-qualified buyers can save thousands today with 1.9% APR financing on the 2019 Honda Accord. That's right, save thousands today with 1.9% APR financing on the Honda Accord. Don't miss the model year-end clearance sale going on now at your local Honda dealer. See dealer for financing details. Offer ends 9/30/19.
Honda, I like it. Oh yeah, I like it.
Every 2019 Honda CR-V is on sale during the model year-end clearance sale. Well-qualified buyers can save thousands today with 1.9% APR financing on the 2019 Honda CR-V. That's right, save thousands today with 1.9% APR financing on the Honda CR-V. Don't miss the model year-end clearance sale going on now at your local Honda dealer. See dealer for financing details. Offer ends 9/30/19.
South Florida.